Hi everybody, we have Gurukiran and Akshay from Zeru team. Tell us about Zeru, Akshay.
Yes, Zeru is a decentralized protocol which will render financial services like lending and borrowing in the decentralized finance space. Yeah.
Right. Talking about problem solving, right? So what made you to choose the current problem statement you have chosen?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Actually, as co-founders, we come from a background which is not that financially strong. So we know how credit is important in a person's financial life. Credit is a really important part in any part of the world. So, and from there we started. We had that background. We knew how important credit was, and we had our first motivation when we stumbled upon something called self-help groups that is very common in India. But there was a lot of exploitation in that concept, and we were very interested in blockchain and the decentralized finance space, the problems it could solve. So we thought if this exact thing was bought in DeFi space, it could solve a lot of things automatically. But first of all, the capital would be it would be a global influx of capital. Second, there will be no eligibility criteria. Everybody would get credit. Third, it would be on the blockchain, processed by a smart contract. So it would be completely automatic and instant.
So that's really great knowing that you are solving the credit problem. So what is, given the perception that entrepreneurship is risky, what's your take on that?
Let me give another perspective. Of course, it is really risky if you don't work on it. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
I don't see any job that you do that is not risky. So the reason people say that it is risky is just because they have fear of failure, and most probably they don't know what they're doing. They just see this as a very posh field, and they just want to jump in. So you need to have that conscious decision-making sense where you know what you're doing, and if this is really necessary. Then if you are really into it, really passionate about it, and this problem really gives value to a lot of people, then you really have to do it. You really have to get into entrepreneurship. Otherwise you don't. Of course, it will be riskier for those who come without all these things.
That's great, actually. Talking about risk, I'm sure you would have learned a lot being an entrepreneur. What are the key things that you have learned as an entrepreneur, and how has it changed you as a person?
One of the most important things that I have learned being an entrepreneur is the team that we work with should have a common goal in mind, and the team that we work should have a complementary skill sets so that we can work on the product independently.
Right. So the company or the team culture is very important, is what you're telling, right? So Akshay, what are your short-term goals and long-term goals going ahead?
The short-term goal is to become better every day, develop ourselves, and the long-term goal for an entrepreneur is obviously, I think for me, not obviously, the nature of an entrepreneur is, I think, solving problems that add value to people's lives.
I've seen your consistency. This validates your long-term goals. So what are the biggest challenges you faced till now as an entrepreneur?
Personally, the biggest challenge I faced being an introvert is communicating with the people, trying to convey what I'm trying to say to them.
Right. Make them understand what is there in your mind and going ahead. Do you want to add anything on top of it? What are the challenges which you faced, which was like a big hurdle?
Yeah, I lead the team. So for me, the biggest challenge was building this team. What are the problems? Because there can be a number of problems. Mainly, they can be stressed out, or they can be suffering with fear. What if I don't do, or deadlines? So that is very important to look after your team. That was my biggest challenge.
Actually, I have an interesting question for you. Do you have an instance of a time wherein you failed as an entrepreneur but succeeded otherwise?
I think I have a story for that. We were building a print-on-demand e-commerce website where people could come in and they could design their it's a custom design print on demand e-commerce website.
Right.
We built everything. We had everything set up. We partnered with our partners who were supplying the product, the t-shirts and hoodies, all those things. And we had our investment going. We had everything set up. But the problem was, nobody wanted the product.
Right.
There was a ton of those things out there, and we didn't know how to market it or what the market is. So that was my first learning as an entrepreneur. Actually, I was not an entrepreneur then. I was just exploring things. So that is the exact moment in time where I could realize that what am I doing? Who am I helping? So that is the moment I realized that building value to people's life is very important. Being a creator is very important. That is where entrepreneurship lies.
Right. So you failed as an entrepreneur to actually execute that idea.
Yes.
But you succeeded in getting the learnings from it.
Exactly.
That's what you
Yes.
mean to say. Right. Going ahead in this information flooding world, how do you update yourself with trends and cutting edge technologies around the corner?
Actually, to answer that question, we needed to say about our team, we follow a set of principles. One of those principles is to meet up every day, like physically, get a meeting set up. So what we used to do in the break time, we used to set up short 15 minutes meetings where all of us used to sit around and discuss whatever we had gone through for that or yesterday's news, the global trends, because the decentralized finance space is a space that has a lot of potential. So obviously it will be changing each and every day. It will be evolving each and every day. So we had to have that current situation, what is happening in the current scenario of the DeFi world. So that was one instance, and every day we set up 1 hour meeting in the evening after the work. So there we talk about what is happening, where are we missing, what are we missing, where should we improve upon, what is the global trend, how can we go about it. Yeah, that is where we get our insights.
That's
and that is how we get our group insights. How I get my individual insights is, obviously I rely on YouTube and Google recommendation engines. As I keep searching on that news,
you'll get more.
Yeah, I'll get more news on that.
That's really great. Yeah. So Gurukiran, how does a typical day in the life of a Zeru entrepreneur look like?
Every day we come to office, we will have a meeting with all the co-founders. We will discuss about the plans that we had yesterday and the things that we were able to complete yesterday. And we will have a plan for what we are going to do today. And after that, we'll start working on, if any investors come into the office, we will pitch to them and we'll take their feedbacks. In the evening, we will have another meeting with all the co-founders that we will discuss about what are the things that we were able to do today and what are the plans for tomorrow.
Wrapping up, what is that one piece of advice which you would want to give to a person who is starting up with a startup now?
I think what we need to understand actually is there's going to be, it's a difficult profession to be honest, but it will all be worth it in the end, trust me. So you need to first be persistent. Whatever you want to do, if you really want to do it, if it's really required and if you're passionate about it, you need to make one hard decision before jumping into it that you're going to stick through it. So you need to be really persistent and you need to make one hard decision that you'll stick through this, whatever happens, and this is really necessary for you.
That's really great. Thank you for your time, Akshay and Gurukiran. It was a really delightful time.